How's it going, people? Welcome back to the Arsenal news show. Of course, the daily show that keeps up to date with all the latest Arsenal transfer news and rumours. Make sure you guys are hitting the like buttons up, subbing to the channel if you are new, and leaving your thoughts down below. We've got quite a lot to go through today. Was at the game yesterday as well. Make sure you check out my match day vlog. Really good vlog. Really good game, of course. Last home game of the season. Very disappointing season, but now all eyes, of course, do turn to the summer. You even had Arteta coming out yesterday saying that they're going to go to the beach and enjoy the holiday, but they also he said he's also hoping that the people upstairs can do what's required and get things done. Let's get into it. Of course, we're going to start with. It wouldn't be a transfer video without talking about Gyokeres, would it, people? Another update on Viktor Gyökeres. He's actually not only said in an interview about his future, Fabrizio also gave us an update on this. He said, despite public statements, Viktor Gyökeres will surely leave Sporting Lisbon this summer with a fee already agreed. Package worth 65 million euros can be enough to get the green light from Sporting, as agreed with Gyökeres months ago. And he also goes on with discussions with top European clubs continue. Now, what I wanted to mention about this is Manchester United, and he also said about a potential deal for Cunha. Man United could be signing Cunha. Does that mean their interest will go more towards Cunha, or they're going to try and get both of them? I just wanted to, mention that first and foremost. We know Man United are looking at Gyokeres as well. I think Fabrizio also came out and said yesterday about. I think he's on his podcast with was I don't know the name of it, but he also came out and said that um, yesterday that Man United are waiting and see if they get Champions League football to actually make the move for Viktor Gyökeres. And the only way they're going to get Champions League football is by winning the Europa League, which hopefully they do because we don't want Tottenham winning Europa League. But if they win Europa League, it looks like that's when they will get the green light to go and push for Gyokeres. So we have to, I'm sure we're acting fast. Hopefully we're acting fast. But he also said there's other European top clubs looking at him. So Arsenal, Man United expect others, Barcelona's maybe because they, maybe need someone for Lewandowski. There's going to be many clubs in for Gyokeres. And we've got to make sure that we win the race for him, especially with that price tag. He's the most informal striker in Europe right now. And you're talking about 65 million euros. That's just euros as well. I think that's got to be less than 60 million, just for a player like Viktor Gyökeres, which is an absolute bargain. But this one will go really quick if we're not careful. So this is the guy for me. I've been speaking about it the past couple of days why this guy is perfect for Arsenal. And we have to wait and see what happens. I'm sure we will find out more as soon as because he's also came out and said this yesterday. And congratulations, obviously for celebrating. I mean, well, he won the title with Sporting yesterday. He's been one of the main reasons why they won the title. But this is what he did an interview after the game, of course, and they was asking him about his future. And he says, Viktor Gyökeres, my next club. He put question mark. We can't predict the future. And he said, we never know what happens. Obviously, he's leaving, guys. I think that's pretty obvious. That's one thing we know is he's gone. All right, he's leaving Sporting Lisbon. Is what club is it going to be? Where is he going to go? That's the big question everyone wants to know. I'm focused now on celebrating this title and trying to win the Taça de Portugal, of course, the Portuguese Cup, which I spoke about yesterday that he plays on the 25th of May, which is 6 days away. So as soon as he finishes that, his season's done. And in 6 days' time, then that's where this news is going to start to really develop. This news is going to skyrocket, and we're going to find out his future in terms of what club he's going to be at. I think the main thing we know is that he's leaving, and hopefully Arsenal are going to be in there straight away and getting this guy in for a bargain fee as well, getting a proper striker in. I even watched the game yesterday, guys. I'm just looking at it. I'm just thinking, imagine we had Gyokeres for games from certain moments yesterday, from certain moments across the whole season. We're just missing this type of striker. We're missing someone like Viktor Gyökeres in this team. He's the best of the best in terms of inform right now in Europe. And this is a very, very good option with the price tag, with the wages as well. It's just whether or not the player will decide to come to Arsenal and whether we convince him to join Arsenal over other clubs. That's going to be, that's going to be the big thing that we're going to find out in in the next couple of days. So keep your eyes peeled, guys. Of course, I'll be leaving updates every single day when this or all the news that gets released with Gyokeres, so you guys don't have to miss anything. But let's get into some more news because we've got some interesting news to discuss. And one I wanted to start with is a bit of Yeah, bad news. It's another operation, it's another injury, and it's a Jurien Timber. Let's not forget he just had an ACL injury, and he's done so well to stay fit this season. He's done so well to come back from his injury and, you know, play week in, week out. He's been superb this season as well. But we've got some news from Sam J. Dean, real live over there at the Telegraph, saying Jurien Timber will undergo ankle surgery. So this time it's on his ankle. He's got an ankle injury, guys. After Arsenal medical staff decided on it to address his fitness issues, it remains unclear how long the player will be ruled out for. I think a bit of, I wouldn't say, I mean, it could have been worse. It could be midway through the season, for example, and now he's got the summer though. We got the full summer now for him to have the operation to recover. It still will be a few months though. If you look at Havertz when he had the operation, obviously Jesus is probably going to have one. I think did Gabriel have one? I think there's a few players that we've had operations this season, right? It's been months and months and months, really, hasn't it? Some of them came back sooner than expected, like Havertz, for example, came back yesterday, but he still was out for quite a few months. So I can see the same with Timber, but thankfully we've got a full summer now. May, June, July, pre-season sort of time. That's 3 months straight away. He can recover. August is when the new season starts. End of August, midway through August is when the season starts to start again. 4 months, September, potentially. That's what it's ankle, so potentially that long. But we don't know how long he's going to be out for. Hopefully, it's not too long, and we'll have him back fully fit for the start of the season. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? With the injuries, people, there's not a lot, really needs to be said. Yeah, it is unlucky. If people could say luck, people could say it's unlucky. Um, I don't really look at this sort of example saying he's been overplayed, because I don't think he has been overplayed in my opinion. I think, and let's not forget Ben White's been injured this season. We've not really had anyone else to play there. I mean, Partey's played there a few times at right back, but we know he can't really play there. I think Tim has been superb this season. It's more, I think we've got good cover there with Ben White can play that, as I just said, and he played there really well yesterday. So it's just one of these ones where we've got to look at and accept it, people. It really is so frustrating. I do believe injuries this season, though, could have been prevented from overplaying certain players. I do stand by that. And that comes down to the manager. And part of me just thinks as well, what the hell is going on in training, for example? Like, for example, Havertz got an injury because he's pressing in training in the Dubai from pressing. Like, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, some of these injuries can be prevented, but with this one, I think it's one of those ones you got to just say, hold your hands up and say it's unlucky. And of course, get well soon to Jurien Timber. Speedy recovery as well when he does have his operation. And as I said, thankfully, we got it in the summer. So last one I wanted to end on, guys, is actually a player that we've been linked with today. Who we were actually linked with in January as well. I can never pronounce the guy's name properly. I called him Mbeumo, Bryan Mbeumo. But Team News and Ticks are saying, after data team identified him last summer, Arsenal targeting Bryan Mbeumo again. I'm told talks are progressing, but they aren't the only team in for him. So, yeah, we're not the only team in for Mbeumo. However, we are looking at him. He's a player of interest and a player that is had a fantastic season with Brentford. Very, very underrated player. Well, I think people were starting to realize how good this guy is. I think when they had Ivan Tony, it's always about Tony. I don't think people really credit enough of Mbeumo, in my opinion. But now Tony's left. Him and Wiz have been superb, aren't they, together this season? I think this guy will suit Arsenal really, really well as well. Very, very good winner. Even when he played against us, caused some problems, didn't he, as well? When he played against Arsenal, very, very good winner, very underrated, can score goals. This will be a fantastic option for me. Knows the Premier League as well, Prem proven. Been doing it year in year out for Brentford now. This will be very, very good option. Another option for Saka. Another winner there as well. Another good option that we can use. And in terms of the price tag, I reckon it'd be reasonable. I reckon it'd be reasonable. I know he's one of Brentford's key players. They lose him. I mean, they still got Wizard, but they're gonna have to add a lot, so they're gonna want a lot of money from him, I presume. But I would go for someone like Bryan Mbeumo. I think this is a very, very good shout. I think he's a very, very good player, and we'll have to wait and see how this one, of course, does develop as the window goes on. But let me know your guys' thoughts on everything we discussed today on Gyokeres, Timber, and also Mbeumo. I'll catch you guys in my next one. Thanks for everyone who watched today. And I'll catch you guys, of course, tomorrow for another update. Take care, guys. And as always, come on, you Gunners.